Welcome back, movie lovers. I am Chris.
And I am Josh. And with our powers combined, we are Garner Brothers movie lovers. Let's just hit that like button and we'll jump right into our spoiler-full review. Did you want to start? I think I started last time.
Well, in our other video, you can watch our other video and get our kind of overall feedback of the film in general. We really liked it. Black Widow's a good movie. There are a couple of spoilery things that we want to talk about with this movie. One of them being the big reveal at the end of the identity of the Taskmaster. We were both a little underwhelmed by the fact that it was Dreykov's daughter, because all through the movie, because, you know, in the comics, I guess the Taskmaster is a guy, right? Mm-hmm. So you know, from that perspective, it's kind of fun to, you know, surprise everyone and, oh, the Taskmaster's actually a girl, but I'm pretty sure that was a guy in the costume doing all the stunts. Definitely looks like a guy.
Seems like it was, especially when you see the mask come off and there's just a woman in this massive man suit. It is weird looking. It doesn't look right. And
maybe she's just a very tall,
when she got blown
buff
up,
woman.
She got disfigured.
There's nothing like being exploded to make you huge and awesome.
Her face is horribly
Maybe
disfigured.
she's like part machine or something.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyway,
she is kind of programmed and stuff.
It was fine though.
Yeah, no, it didn't bug me too much. It just when they took off the mask, I was like, okay, that happened. Whatever.
Yeah.
So the finale, when Black Widow is talking to Dreykov and her cover is blown and she takes off her little Mission Impossible digital mask thingy that clearly there's nothing there and they just kind of do something.
Which has happened in the MCU before. They used those at the end of not Civil War. Winter Soldier.
Oh, is that a Winter Soldier when they do it again?
Yeah.
Jeez, so many Winter Soldier
So
references.
it's nice that there's, you know, that this technology isn't just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. But it seems like her plan is all falling apart, you know? Everything seems to be going wrong with every part of the plan. And then, kind of out of nowhere, Natasha, like, starts acting like she's been in charge the whole time. And I felt like it was a kind of a tribute to that scene in Avengers when she's tied up to the chair.
There's two scenes like that in Avengers, right? Because when she's talking to Loki, the same thing. And when she says, thank you for your cooperation in this movie, that's a throwback to that.
For sure. And she gets the phone call and she's like, I'm working. This dummy is going to tell me everything. Yeah. That's totally how it felt with this. It was kind of a very Black Widow-esque thing. I liked that. Well, I wanted to talk about the female empowerment aspects of the film and why I think it's such a good one, because I'm a man. And I know what's best for women.
This is going to be great.
Proceed. we're aware of how this is. Two men talking about
female empowerment.
Yeah, and who am I to really say what's wrong and right when people are working on this? But I'm going to. So here we go.
With any movie, you don't want any movie with a moral to bludgeon you with it, right? I mean, you want it to be there. You want to pick it up on your own. You want to feel incepted because of it, right? Like it gave you the idea and now you want to run with that idea rather than, you know, it being so blatantly obvious that somebody's trying to give you a moral. That always kind of messes things up unless it's done really well.
I think in this film, one sign of good filmmaking, at least when it comes to female empowerment, is that these characters are able to grow together independent of the overall goal of stopping the bad guy. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, Yelena she's part of this like horrible toxic system that just takes these women and trains them to be killers and then controls them. And she's able to get out of that, and then she ends up meeting with Natasha, and they don't have a good relationship at the beginning. She has an awesome line where she says, "You're fooling yourself. We're both still trained killers. I'm just not the killer that little girls call their hero." And as the film progresses, these two are able to grow and develop together in spite of the overall goal, which is very clearly like, this guy is a bad man and we need to stop him. It isn't just men are dumb and women are awesome.
The whole family dynamic, I thought, was really interesting. They didn't, I mean, at the beginning of the movie, they were a really believable family.
Yeah.
And you totally get the feeling that these little girls...
And the mom.
Yeah. And he seemed like the dad, too, for real, you know?
Well, I think
like,
none of them wanted to leave, though. They all loved this little game they were playing as family so much that even the mother didn't want to leave. And then, when they finally see the father again, you know, he's like, the family is back together again. And you're just like, everyone else is like, we're not a family. And he's like, yes, we're a family. And, you know, you could tell he loved it too after everything.
Although
else
he
was said and
badmouths
done.
all his time in Ohio, which makes
true.
Yelena feel really bad.
Yeah.
There are moments when various characters kind of talk about their time in Ohio as though it wasn't real. And you can tell every time somebody says that Yelena is like hurt by it until she blows up at them and makes them all confront the reality that, yeah, we really did feel like a family in Ohio.
Yeah.
And it's kind of awesome to see them come back together and like acknowledge that, you know, familial bond that they all have, even though they're not biologically related. It was good. It was a satisfying conclusion to that relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, there was more to it than just one message. There was a lot of stuff going on that really helped to make the whole thing come together well, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was really smart to put it in the timeline where they did, because a lot of times in these movies, when you have these solo movies, you just keep thinking, like, why doesn't Thor just come down here and hit everyone with his hammer and fix it all in a second? But in this situation specifically, she's on the run. Anyone who would help her is also on the run. Probably not very easy to find. And so the reason that she doesn't have anyone helping her, I mean, it makes sense, you know?
That's true.
I thought the pheromone thing was weird.
Yeah, why can't you just plug your nose?
Oh, no.
Seems like...
It'd be a little less awesome if she just has one of those swimming nose plugs when she came in and confronted him.
Although it could have been funny if she, like, just put it on her nose and then beat the heck out of him.
Just wear an oxygen mask and go in there and beat him up.
Yeah, it seems like there were other possible solutions than smashing your face on a tape.
Aside from that, why in the world would a pheromone keep you from being able to pull a trigger or stab someone with a knife? That was so weird. That whole thing was just way weird. And
Just gonna have to suspend your disbelief on that one.
Yeah, and you know,
And all the times she falls off of buildings
Yeah.
and gets in horrific car accidents.
but it was, I mean, like we said, none of these problems were so bad that we just couldn't handle it and it ruined anything for us. It was all just weird, and then we just moved on. Overall, what this adds to the what do you think this adds to the MCU overall?
Well, I mean, it gives us the connection. It gets Florence Pugh into the MCU, right? And she's going to clearly be,
Oh, by the end, I'm
deal.
ready for her to be
yeah.
part of the Avengers, to be the new Black Widow. Like,
Yeah.
she's really cool.
She's great. It gives us a little bit more backstory on Black Widow and, you know, her time in Budapest with Clint, which has been referenced a lot of times, but it was genuinely interesting to me to find out what was going on there.
Yeah, it's pretty dark stuff.
And it ends up mattering in this movie, like what happened in Budapest previously. And so, you know, the MCU probably could have survived without this movie. Maybe the biggest thing that it does is fixes the problem of not having a Black Widow movie yet. Like, they should have done this so long ago.
Should have been done a long time ago. That it was just a proper send off for her as well, which was nice, and got some interesting characters to play around with in the future. So,
I just thought of one other thing that I really liked about the film, that I was really impressed with. I mean, obviously the movie looks amazing, and maybe this belongs in our first video more than this one, but the movie looks incredible. Like, all of the MCU movies look incredible, but this one was the best so far. Like,
Yeah.
even there's some de-aging. There has to be some de-aging going on in the
Harbour.
opening scene. Yeah. And on Rachel Weisz, probably.
Oh yeah.
And they look amazing.
Yeah, you can't.
They
I didn't
look
even
incredible.
think about that. I didn't even think about the fact that that might have happened.
And
it
that's what's
probably
so
did.
incredible about it.
Yeah.
Like, because even as good as Samuel L. Jackson looked in Captain Marvel, you could tell there was something weird going on with him and Coulson. Like, they looked good, but you could tell. But this
The
time, this
uncanny
was
valley.
totally flawless. If there was any de-aging going on there, I couldn't tell. But it had to be, because David Harbour was all skinny and
That's true. Yeah.
young looking. And he's not a terribly old or terribly large man. I guess it's possible maybe that he like lost a bunch of weight at the end of the filming or something and went back and
Nah,
I
he's
doubt
fat
it.
in every movie.
I
he's
doubt
in.
it. I doubt it. So there had to be some stuff going on, but it was just flawlessly executed. Really, really good looking movie. Just super good.
Man, I did not realize how big that dude was.
Till he's standing next to Florence Pugh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, she must be pretty short.
Well, even when he was walking next to her in Black Widow, you know, I was like, my gosh, these are like her Black Widow standing next to Captain America is not that daunting, but he is a monster.
He looks enormous.
He's humongous.
I love his outfit. I love his helmet. He's got
big
that
beard coming out.
He's got that whole Mr. Incredible thing going on, you know, that he really doesn't fit into his suit anymore, but he's wearing it anyway.
Still fits.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like.
Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of our content, and click the bell if you'd want to be notified every time we release new content.
We love you, 3000.
You both have killed so many people. I'm so proud.